Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into Your Stocks coming live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal Studios. I'm Vinny Motiwala. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Now, in terms of the markets today, a resilient day. What's coming for the markets, right? Nifty, as of now, holding on to gains of around 0.2% in the trading session. 43-point uptick is what we're seeing for the Nifty 50. 25,760 levels. Around that is what the Nifty is trading at, just inching towards the day's highest point. Let's keep an eye on that. Broader end of the market, that's been outperforming. We've spoken about that through the day as well, and advance decline ratio clearly in the favor of advances versus decline in the trading session. IT continues to be the top sectoral loser. As of now, it's down almost 5 to 6% in the trading session. So let's watch out for that one. Metals continues to shine in the trading session as well, and a lot of individual movers on the back of their earnings. That continues to be the trend. Apart from IT today, obviously specific reasons that we're seeing a fall coming in. Devyani International, I would like to pull that up because I reported their numbers a short while ago, and after that we've seen a run up coming for the stock. So Devyani International for the day is up almost 9%. Let's watch out for that one as well, and a lot more numbers flashing at the bottom of your screens for your tube investments is something that we'll keep an eye out on. But this is a show where we solve all your stock related queries, and we'll be doing just that with Astha Jain, research analyst at Securities, as well as Ruchit Jain, equity technical research wealth management at Motilal Oswal Financial Services, to answer all the stock related queries. Astha as well as Ruchit, good afternoon. Thank you so much as always for joining us on the show. Let's start with the first query for today then. This one is coming in from Jay Parmar, who's writing to us from Noida. He is holding 325 shares of Tata Power. This is at a price of 380 rupees per share. Wants to know the long-term view on the stock. Obviously, earnings around the corner as well for this one. Astha, Tata Power, what's your view on this?
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. If I talk about Tata Power, the previous earnings were a sort of muted one. So what we have seen that the earnings were not able to meet the expectations. Now, with the growing opportunity in the power space, I believe that definitely this company will going to perform. But we really need to see how they are, because they are also increasing their solar manufacturing. In fact, management has indicated that in the previous con calls also. So my idea here is just to stay invested in this counter for a price target of around 390 to 400. So wait and watch. And if anyone has the stock in their holding, then definitely a hold from that side.
Okay, hold is as of now the view coming in. They'll be reporting the numbers today as well, I believe. So let's watch out for that also. Ruchit, what's your view for Tata Power? The viewer is making a loss on this one, but anytime soon that we could at least expect the 380 level, which is the buy price. Long-term story. Also, what is the target?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon. Well, if you look at last entire 1 year, since Jan 2025, the stock has been trading within a range only. Whenever it comes near that 415, 420, it witnesses selling pressure, whereas on the low side, 340 is a good support for the stock. So I think the longer term trend still remains range bound. But the good thing is that in this entire consolidation, the long term average supports of 50 EMA are still intact. So I think considering he's a long term investor, he has already seen that pain of time wise corrective phase in the stock. So these are not the levels where he should look to exit from it. Continue to hold on at current levels. In the near term, the 200 EMA is around 384 itself, around your cost price. So I expect that pullback move in the short term. But even from a longer term perspective, I would advise to continue to hold on the positions.
Hold on to the position. That's a view coming in on the technical front as well. Let's move on to the next query for today. We have Tarun Kapoor, who's writing to us from Nagpur. He is holding 500 shares of Samvardhana Motherson, and this is at a price of 120 rupees per share. Wants to know if he can add more shares for the long term. Astha, your view for Samvardhana Motherson, what should they be doing with this? Obviously, some of these auto ancillary names have that US exposure, the trade deal coming in as well. So now what's the story for Samvardhana?
So basically, there are some ramp up, greenfield ramp up is also there. I think that is also major focus of the company, because management has indicated that along with the strong order inflow which this company is witnessing, I think they are also scaling up well in the spaces of aerospace, etc. So my idea here is to stay invested in this counter, because we believe that this counter is well poised to move till the level of 150. So 140 to 150 are the targets which we would like to assign to this counter, and hence recommending a hold on that.
Okay, hold is a view on the fundamentals. Technical levels, Ruchit, that one should keep an eye out on for Samvardhana Motherson.
In the recent correction, the stock has managed to form a support base around its 200 EMA, which was at 208, 110. So I think the base has been formed there. And since then, a high top, high bottom structure could be seen. So downside seems to be limited from here on. On a short-term basis, 115 is a good support for the stock. So if you want to add more positions, then any dips towards 115, 116 can be used to add more positions.
Okay. Dips the levels that you can add more position if you are looking to is what Ruchit has mentioned as well. Next query then for today, we have this one coming in from Yamini Jain, who's writing to us from Kanpur. And she's holding 300 shares of Tata Motors PV. This is at a price of 350 rupees per share. Should she continue to hold, average, buy? What should they be doing right now? Add more is their view. And they're a long-term investor. Astha, your view.
So view on Tata Motors is positive as of now, and definitely one can add more on this counter as well. Now talking about the fundamental seems to be okay, especially if I talk about the Tata Motors PV. What we are expecting a sort of slight rise in the margins as well as going forward. And I think the balance sheet is also in a very good shape. So this is the counter which we are advising, in fact, our clients to remain invested for the price target of around 420 to 430 at the initial levels.
Mhm. On the technical front, Ruchit, they bought it at 350. So, what should they be doing? Average, what levels, and what are the targets for the long term here?
The good thing is that the buying price is quite low. If you look at the recent price action, the price is corrected post the demerger, and then formed a support base around 335, 340. Exactly around the just below the buying price. So the risk reward ratio is very favorable to hold on the positions with a stop loss below 335. If that remains intact, then expect an up move towards 410, 415, which are the swing highs. So hold existing positions. I don't think there's much need to anything do more at current levels, but around 410 you can take a review again.
Okay, right now hold is the view on the technical front. Don't do anything much. Hold on to it for the long term. That's a view on the technicals. Let's move on then to the next query. We have Prakash, who's writing to us from Hyderabad. He's holding 3,000 shares of Bank of India. Price is 163 rupees. So stock is around their buy price right now. Short-term investor. So what's a short-term outlook on this one? In the short term, Bank of India, what should they be doing with this one, Astha?
Short term is also looking promising for this counter with a price target of 180 to 190, which we would like to assign to this counter. Now, talking about the fundamentals, what we have seen is their advances have registered a growth of 13%, especially if I talk about the gross advances. So, definitely a growth was there. In fact, their overseas advances have also witnessed the growth of around 6 to 7%. So, we really like that because growth in advances is always positive. Bank deposits have also shown a strong growth. And in fact, if I talk about their GNP and NNP ratio, because apart from growth, any banking counter is well looked upon if we touch their GNP and NNP ratios, and there also we have seen decline. Now, one of the major factor is that in fact they are maintaining their ROE of around 13 to 14%. So I think that is also looking attractive to me apart from ROAs. So all in all, a good bank to remain invested in with a price target of 180 to 190.
180 to 190 is what we can keep an eye out on. Ruchit, is that the level you would also suggest for the short term? It's a short term query. So 3 to 6 months or max, I think 1 year they would be looking to hold on for.
Firstly, the sectoral trend seems quite strong. We have seen a good outperformance in this recent volatility which we had seen from the PSU banking space, which is a good sign. The stock also seen some correction last week, but managed to form a support around 145, 150 range where the 50 DEMA for the stock is placed. From a short-term perspective, yes, keep a stop loss below 146 and continue to hold on your long positions if this high top, high bottom structures continues. 176, 178 is where the technical targets would be placed.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out on those levels over there for the short term. But on that note, we're actually going to sip into a very short break. We'll come back with more of your stock-related queries after the break. Stay tuned for that. Welcome back to your stocks. Since CNBC-TV18 Nifty is at uncomfortably at the 25,780 levels now. So let's watch out for that. Almost again back near the day's highs point, 62-point uptick as of now. That's where we started the show with. Not much of a move there. This 25,700 around that mark is what it's trading at, and that range is what it's moving around today. But yes, moved from the red to the green at least for the day. But let's move on and keep it going with all your stock-related queries with Astha Jain as well as Ruchit Jain today. The next query for today is come from Amit, who's writing to us from Mumbai. He's holding 500 shares of Coal India. Price is 395 rupees per share, making a profit on this one. Wants to know if he can continue to hold the stock for the next 3 months. Again, a short-term query there. Astha, your view for Coal India?
So view is positive, of course, and definitely we would recommend a hold because we are positive on this counter. So recommending a hold on this counter with a price target of around 460 to 470 as of now. Now talking about the fundamentals, past quarterly results were not that great. What we have seen that there was a volume growth which was not very much, optimistic. In fact, it has disappointed, and some of their full year guidances was also like in line with the expectation. But I believe going ahead, definitely when we start seeing some sort of a rise in the volume, definitely that will yield a positivity in the numbers as well. So in that hope only we are recommending a hold on this counter with a price target of 460 to 470.
Okay, keeping an eye out on those levels there. But Ruchit, in the last 1 year, the stock has given 15% return. They bought it at 395, making some profit. For the next 3 months, do we expect a further up move from here, or maybe it's better to get out at these levels?
In fact, if we see entire calendar year 2025, the stock traded in a very narrow range. It's just recently, the month of January, the stock gave a breakout from that 1 years of consolidation. And I think 8 to 9% returns were made in the month of Jan itself. So the trend for the stock is quite good. So one should continue to hold on the existing long positions. 410 is the immediate support. So if you're a short-term trader, you can keep a stop loss below 410 and expect targets around 480, 490, where the previous swing highs or previous all-time highs was there. So good stock to hold on at current levels.
Okay, good stock to hold on to at current levels. That's the view there on the technicals. Let's move on. And the next one is a caller query where Beju, who is calling on the phone line from Ahmedabad, he's holding 2,000 shares of PG Electroplast, and this is at a price of 600 rupees per share. Beju, what is your query on this one? What would you like to know?
Should I hold or should I sell it off? Because after the results, I think the shares had gone down yesterday.
Okay. Astha, your view on this one?
We have seen that their product business has shown a very strong growth despite the challenging environment right now these companies are placed in. And I think this growth momentum is not limited to one category. Across all the four categories, they have shown a strong growth. So I'm very much optimistic about the numbers which they have posted. Although the stock is like also showing some sort of a strong momentum today, but going ahead also we believe that this stock is well poised to move till the level of 650 to 700. These are some ambitious targets I'm assigning to this counter right now, but I think it is for the longer term perspective which I'm talking. So for the longer term perspective, definitely a hold from my side. The targets have been set at around 650 to 700.
Okay, 650 to 700 is the target that for the long term that you're saying. Ruchit, would you give Beju short term as well as long term targets to keep an eye out on now?
Well, pullback move can be expected in the short term towards 630, 640. But largely, I think the trend for the stock is still range bound. And post that correction, the trend for the stock has turned sideways. It has not breached that 500 level, which is a good sign, but it needs to give a breakout above 640, 650 for any kind of trended up moves. So I think in such markets where a lot of stocks from the broader markets are showing an up move, you can expect pullback move, but too early to say whether we would see any kind of outperformance. So maybe around 630, 640 would be good levels to take a review again for the stock.
Okay, but so right now you would say hold and then maybe sell at that 630, 640 levels before selling, just have a review again.
Yes, that should be a good idea.
Okay, thanks so much for that view there. Thank you so much, Beju, for calling us as well. Hope that answered your query. Let's move on to the next one then for today. We have Avinash, who's writing to us from Chennai. He's holding 1,440 shares of Yes Bank. This is at a price of 33 rupees a share. Wants to know if he should exit at the current levels or add more or average. Asa, your view?
View is positive because what we have seen is that the numbers were better than expected, and especially what we have seen that there was a decline in the credit cost. So that is and slippages. So definitely these are some of the focus point of this bank which we have witnessed in the quarter, that slippages as well as credit cost has seen a decline, and hence I am positive on this counter for the price target of 24. Remain invested.
Okay. Ruchit, your view for this one? Yes Bank, viewers bought it at 33. What should they do?
Well, a pullback move can be expected towards 23, 24 kind of range, but no, not a stock where outperformance should be expected. So overall, the trend is still sideways in the range of 20 to 24.
Okay, that's a view there on the technicals as well. Sideways move 20 to 24 is what Ruchit is saying. Let's move on. The next query. Vinay is writing to us from Pune, holding 1,000 shares of L&T. Price is 3,224, making a profit on this one. He wants to know the target for the next 1 to 3 years, and he also wants to invest 15 lakh rupees in semiconductors, data centers, defense, alternate energy. Astha, your view for both of them. Where should they look to invest in if they want to look at data center semiconductor opportunity, as well as in terms of L&T?
For L&T. L&T is looking positive to me. 4,200 is the price target which we are setting for this counter. Although here the horizon is long term for our investor, but these are some medium term targets which I'm assigning right now to this counter. Now talking about the fundamental seems to be very strong. The growth was led by all the segments, whether it is IT, whether it is infrastructure, and robust order book is what which we are very much liking for this counter, and hence we are positive, keeping our price target in the short to medium term at around 4,200 level. Now, talking about the other spaces where our investor wants to invest money in, I think in the semiconductor space, there are stocks like Moschip Technologies, which is looking good to me. So, Moschip Technologies is there. In the data center space, we still like Anant Raj as well as NetWeb Technologies. So, these are few of the counters which we are positive as of now in these spaces, and there one can deploy the funds in.
Okay. Some of the names there coming in for data center, semiconductor opportunity as well. Ruchit, what's your view? L&T levels they should keep an eye out on in the medium to long term, as well as anything that is looking exciting on the charts and technicals in the semiconductor data center defense side?
So I think should continue to hold on L&T firstly. The overall trend, the mid to long term trend still remains on the positive side. Recently, the stock did correct around with the market volatility, but managed to form a support base at its 200 EMA and has resumed its uptrend. So I think 4,700 is where the technical targets are placed as per the retracements on the charts. So in the medium term, can expect levels around 4,700. As far as for new investment stocks are concerned within the semiconductor space, I think no EMS provider Sirma SGS is one stock which is technically looking good. Overall structure remains positive, a relative outperformer within the space if you look at the recent corrective phase which we are seeing. So this is one stock where you can look to take some exposure.
Okay, Sigma SGS there is coming in as well as one of the options for you. Thanks for the view there, Ruchit. Next query for today, we have Vishwas Kaude, who's writing to us from New Delhi. Investment query, wants to know if he should, invest in Trent right now at the current levels. Numbers coming in as well. Astha, your view.
Yes, so I think right now just wait for some more time because the quarterly updates were okay. I mean, we have seen growth in their top line in the quarterly updates, and in fact, company has opened certain new stores as well as their Zudio store as well as West Side stores. So definitely they have started showing good contribution in the numbers, but still we believe that the valuations are at high level. So the kind of growth which we want from this counter is not that good, which can justify the valuation at this point of a time. So Trend is such a stock where I think one should wait before making any fresh investments.
Okay, wait before making fresh investments. You're not finding the valuations too attractive yet. Ruchit, what's your view for Trent? Given last 1 year, we've seen that sharp fall in 2025 for Trent. Is it the right time, or are we expecting a bit more of a correction on the technicals as well?
So I think price-wise, we have already seen a good correction over last few months. Some positive divergence are visible on the charts where the prices have formed a lower low, but RSI has formed a higher low. Such divergences usually leads to a pullback move. I think a pullback move could be expected. So we expect that the trend for the stock could turn from down to sideways going ahead. So maybe price-wise downside would be limited, but expect some consolidation going ahead.
Okay, that's a view there on the technical front. Next query for today, we have Hitesh who's writing to us from Mumbai, holding 100 shares of HDB Financials, 910 rupees. Should he continue to hold or sell? Astha, your view?
So HDB Financial is right now hold from our side with a price target of 700, 760. What we have seen in the numbers right now, yes, they have shown growth in their asset under management, and this growth was at around 12%. But we still want to see some more, strength in the profitability, and that can justify the valuation. So right now, we are not very much comfortable with the valuation as of now as well, and hence result seems to be okay. But on the valuation front, it is just a hold, not a buy from our side. So hold this counter.
Okay, hold is the view on the fundamentals front. But that was the last query for today. Ruchit as well as Astha, thank you so much for joining us on the show and helping answer all those stock-related doubts that our viewers have sent us. Viewers, you can keep sending us your queries on the phone number that will be there on the screens for you all, as well as the email ID. You can send us and we will get them answered with our experts on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays at 2 p.m. only on Your Stocks. But with that, we're going to wind down this edition of Your Stocks today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Last set of traders still left, and you have closing bell up next for that.